You know, I'm going to say this, and this may be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think Zack Snyder's universe was all that. Specifically, Zack Snyder's DC universe. Some people just swear by Zack Snyder's DC universe and they think it's like the best thing ever since like sliced bread. And some people believe that Gal Gadot was an amazing Wonder Woman when I, in fact, didn't really believe that she was an amazing Wonder Woman. And I feel the same exact way about Jason Momoa's Aquaman. Honestly, I think it was wrong casting. I don't think Aquaman in general was the perfect role for Jason Momoa. Even though physically he may have embodied the look of the character, I don't really think he was the character, if you get my drift. So from the very beginning, and I think a lot of us felt this way as well, and it's pretty much been confirmed because this came from an outcry of fans for years now, that Jason Momoa should have been, or should have played at least Lobo. And because of that, I would argue, because of the fans wishing that, it's happening. Jason Momoa is officially the DCU's Lobo, who will debut in a Supergirl movie. Now, I'm not like the biggest Lobo fan, but I know of his character. Lobo started off as a villain and has eventually, really redeemed himself and made his way into the Justice League. And I'm excited because Lobo is a character that's quite unique and very different from anything we've ever seen in like when it comes to like villains and stuff like that. And I've always been curious to see how would he fare in his own film, or at least in someone else's film, and then his own film. I'm here to talk about it. Jason Momoa is DCU's Lobo, and he will debut in the Supergirl movie. And I can confirm that right here. It's official. Jason Momoa will play Lobo in James Gunn and Peter Safran's DCU. Talk about great casting. He should have been Lobo from the very beginning. I knew that it wasn't really over for any of these actors to begin with when it came to this new transition to the new DCU. I knew that like Warner Brothers / James Gunn wouldn't have to toss him aside completely, and they would continue to give him some more work. In this case, Jason Momoa. I don't know what they're going to do with Gal Gadot. I think they got rid of her completely. Wonder Woman is going to probably be played by a different actress, and I hope so, because I don't think Gal Gadot was a perfect Wonder Woman. I don't think she was great. I think they could have chosen somebody else that was more fit and looked the part. Gal Gadot is a pretty woman, but I think somebody else could have played her. Henry Cavill should have stayed as Superman, but then again, Henry Cavill was already in his early to mid 40s, so it's only a matter of time before he won't be able to play him. But I'm sure they will be able to use him in some capacity later on, perhaps in Kingdom Come. So anyway, let's read the article here. Momoa previously played Arthur Curry Aquaman in DCEU, which ended in 2023 with Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom. The actor has since been vocal about wanting to play Lobo, a character created by Roger Sliffer and Keith Giffen for DC Comics, in the new DCU, though there's been no official announcement about the matter until now. On Instagram, Momoa shared a quote he said in an interview with Fandango in 2023. What did Jason Momoa say about playing Lobo? So Lobo was, I collect comics, and I don't do so much anymore, but he was always my favorite. And I always wanted to play Lobo because I'm like, hello, it's the perfect role, he said at the time. I mean, listen, if they call me and ask me to play him, it's a F yeah. I haven't received that call, so I don't want to put any fake news out there, but if they ever call me and ask me to play or ask me to audition, I'm there. Momoa's Instagram caption for the post, which can be viewed below, simply reads, "They called." So here he says, so Lobo was, and I collect comics. And this was the image. This was like the quote that I just finished reading about Jason Momoa playing Lobo. In DC Comics, Lobo is an antihero with villainous tendencies who is an interstellar mercenary and a bounty hunter. Like Superman, he comes from an alien planet that was completely destroyed. However, in Lobo's case, this is because he decided to kill nearly everyone who lived there. According to Deadline, Momoa's Lobo will appear in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which is scheduled to be released in 2026. The movie is directed by Craig Gillespie, who is known for making 2017's I, Tanya, 2023's Dumb Money, and more. Based on Tom King and Bilquis Alvilli's Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow series, the movie will star Millie Alcock in the titular role, Matthias Schoenaerts as Krem of the Yellow Hill, and Eve Ridley as Ruthie. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow will be released in the United States theaters on June 26, 2026. So that's exciting. At least, they got the right guy from what it looks like to play Lobo, and I'm excited to see that as well. I think Lobo has always been unique. I first got introduced to Lobo back in like the Justice League animated series when it used to air on Cartoon Network / Toonami. Now, if you're as old as I am, you would know what Toonami Toonami is, but Toonami was pretty much the channel that really brought anime to the Western audience being us folks in the United States. That's how I got my start in like anime, and that's how I was watching pretty much Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. And Lobo would appear in that series here and there, you know, once in a while. And I'm like thinking like, who is this guy? And I think he was always interesting, and he was also kind of funny because then every time he would get knocked back out or like, you know, like just get his ass kicked, he wouldn't necessarily curse, but he'd be like, frackin', 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 frackin'.
David plays rough. Come on, let me have another. Right here, right here. Dirty fraggin', rat fraggin'.
He would say funny things like that, and it just always cracked me up. And I think Jason Momoa, who seems like the kind of guy who has the capacity to be pretty funny, I think he can do that with this character. And I think Lobo will definitely be able to steal the show from Wonder Woman, Woman of Tomorrow, and also in his own movie as well, because Jason Momoa is not only a lovable guy, he's a really funny guy, and I think he would also popularize the character of Lobo. Anyway, but those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Do you like the character Lobo? Are you a fan of the character Lobo? And if you don't like the idea of Jason Momoa playing Lobo, then who else would you cast to play the role of the space mercenary? Anyways, that's all I got for you today, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on the bell notifications so you all don't miss anything. And as always, I'll see you all in the next comic panel.